Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Okay, I think we're fixed. Sorry about that little false start. Let's give this thing a shot. Yeah. Still got another one, blue or black this time, but we didn't get the 750, and that's going to be just fine. I put together a terrible Soldiers Tribal deck, and the reason why I call it terrible is because I know that this is one of the strongest tribal decks that exist. We have not been collecting soldiers actively. We did take them in one of the jump-ins. So we have some like Yoshi and Frontliners, which are pretty good. One recruitment officer. I'd like to have more of those. We do have a couple of these guys, which happen to be soldiers as well. And then we got some blue soldiers that give us an opportunity to maybe throw in some extra, I don't know, goofy things to do. Probably would like to change this thing out now that I'm looking at it. Phyrexian Soldier over here gifts out +1 to somebody else, +2 other times. This one can gain Indestructible for a single one on his attack, and it's usually, you have the Summoning Sickness when you cast him, so it's usually the second time around. And then the Platoon Dispenser is actually a bit of a stud. It's a 4/6 body. It's a really good blocker. It hits the deck. It can spit out other tokens, although that's not really the most important thing. But if you control 2 or more creatures, you get to draw a card. And I think that that is, for 5 mana, a 4/6 body that also draws cards and can help you go wide is pretty solid stuff. I don't know why we don't see a Platoon Dispenser with a Mondrak out some more, or a Platoon Dispenser even mixed with like some of the black Orzhov kinds of decks that will allow you to do some things in the go wide strat. Okay, so that's where we're at. We have a very small sub-theme of Toxic built into this thing, but for the most part, the corruption is all we're trying to get to. Um, and then these were the Savior of Allenbach. I just, like I said, I just practiced it and I didn't love it. When I say I just practiced it, I just went into the bot matches and played it against the bot matches. That's all. We are looking for blue, or we are looking for black. We have these black and white decks. We have the stuff, if we really wanted to play blue and black and go for it as fast as possible, we'd want to play some ninjas. Um, do we have... I think this is just the ninja deck they give us, if I'm not mistaken. Although it looks pretty good. It looks like something we fixed up. So let's give it a shot. We're going to play this Stealthy Subterfuge deck, which I think is just one of the things that they give us. I say that like we should know. Okay, so this is a rogue, and a lot of times what we'll see is ninjas and rogues get +1/+1s, or ninjutsu effects work pretty good with some of the rogues. They just generally have some more evasive keywords to them, like flying or menace. Those kinds of things are always solid. So we're going to use this as our enabler. When it enters, you get to tap something on their side, so it can be used a bit as an offense. And then this is also a bit of a controlling kind of piece. I think there might be some black rogues. I say cards in black that are rogues. Sorry, I shouldn't say it like that, but here we go. This one's kind of interesting. It's a neat way for you to gain a card draw every time something dies. And since we do have some of these little low-level guys, we might actually get some things to die. She bounces, which is kind of cool. He has some lifelink, and that's about it. So I could live without him. And then she's the Katosi. Another rogue, when it enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards as long as there are 5 or more values among cards in your graveyard. The Snoop and Newsy gets a +1 and has lifelink. It's not bad. She's also a rogue. Interesting. I didn't realize that. But target player discards 2 cards, ninjas and rogues you control gain menace until the end of the turn. That could be fun too. When it enters the battlefield, return 1 target ninja card from your graveyard to your hand. Put a target creature card from your graveyard to the top of your library. That's not that good of a return. This is a rogue, and it's a shapeshifter, which is kind of fun. And then the Prosperous Thief helps you kind of ramp up some stuff. Flash, when he enters, he connives an 0-3 for 3. Just not good. Not good at all. So the Rogue word took us towards the Morbid Opportunist as a possible double card, and then it just basically says whenever one or more other creatures die, you get to draw a card. So kind of like turns all these removal spells that we'd be using against them into non-removal spells. Like we get to replace them with a card on our side. This could still be broken, so I'm not going to mess with it. And this guy's pretty solid. You get to discard a card, and you get to destroy something on their side of the board. The reason why I think that's such a good deal, maybe we'll get rid of the Inkrise Infiltrator and increase a Morbid Opportunist as well, is because we'll have the cards. If we've got these guys, we'll have the cards to be able to do that. So I think we just lose the Katosis in hopes of finding a bottom here. I don't know. I like that. Taking cards away, pumping up the board, killing their guys by discarding a card, gathering new cards back in. This is the other guy that we got rid of. And unfortunately, we just don't have the kind of ninjas that we'd like to do anything more. So let's just go with this. We tightened down the curve a little bit. So, yeah, if we made it, if we lowered the curve by making the cost of the cards on average cheaper, what that means is more of our cards become playable faster in the game and become more playable early on instead of sitting on our hand waiting for an opportunity to get there. So we don't have to have as many pieces to set up for a bigger card to hit the deck. We can kind of just make things work at the bottom of the curve. This is okay. Unfortunately, we don't have the blue mana, but we do have 2, and 1 blue will show up eventually, so. Okay. Interesting. Bit of like a mono red start over there. That's fine. We go next. Let's say all attack. And then we don't have any creatures to bounce, so the best we can do is bring this guy in. Reckless Stormseeker's got haste, right? We're going to get rid of that guy. I still have this card here on the mana side to get rid of, and that would allow us to cast a Moonspear Specialist. But I think we just ninjutsu in the Moonspear Snare, if I'm not mistaken. That's not bad either. Let's try that one. Okay. And then what we're going to do is do the Thousand Face Shadow for the Disruptor, since it's the cheapest one. It's going to make a copy of that, and then we'll click Next. And like I said, pretty awesome stuff, because now we've got 2 Lords that are in there, right? Boop. So we're certainly threatening lethal now. Thousand Face Shadow just doing what Thousand Face Shadows do. All of our ninja and rogue spells are cheaper as well because of the Solar Fur Masters. So they work to pump each other up, they work to make it cheaper on the back end, they work to do a lot. I like it. Don't let anybody tell you who you are. That's for you to decide. Alright, so they spent their mana. We're looking at about 6 damage coming our way. I don't think there's enough here to prevent us from just winning on the next turn, right? So if we go next and we say all attack, it would be this on this. bounce that. And then we would say next. Do that. Ninjas can be powerful. That's a turn 5 ninja crush. Yeah. The negative side of winning so fast is we played 3 cards. Is that right? I guess the ninjatsus don't count. Oh no! The ninjatsus don't count as playing a card. That's sad. Why don't they count? I don't know. The lands don't count and the ninjatsus don't count. The only thing that counted were the network disruptors that we cast. That's a bummer. Yeah, we'll keep. That's fine. We're gonna go like this. Nothing can ninjatsu in except this. You may draw a card, and if you do, you discard a card unless it enters the battlefield that turn. Yeah, that sounds right. So we say all attack, and then we ninjatsu in. Draw a card, take the action. 2 network disruptors. Yeah. We're going to toss that out there. Tap it, just for fun. They don't have flash, do they? That'd be so cool if they did, but they don't. Okay. That's fine. Okay. So, I could play my Network Disruptor again, and that would allow me to ninjatsu in the Moon Snare Specialist and allow me to bounce the Adaptive if I wanted to get rid of the oil or the Bloated Contaminator. I say it like that, but I may not be able to now that I think about it. You can go back. I really wanted to get rid of that, unfortunately, but it's okay. No blocks. Okay, so that's 4 total mana. So now what I can do is I can toss this in, right? Get rid of the Contagious Vorak, right? I can 1,000 Face Ninja in a Moon Snare Specialist in order to create the bounce opportunity that I'm looking for. And I think that that's probably the right way to go. So we Binding Palm Ninja. Oh, I guess I don't have that. That's fine. We like this. And then we can get rid of cards. I kind of like that. Okay, so what do we want to get rid of? I feel like this is probably our biggest threat here. Alright, so we're bouncing Adaptive on the next turn, which unfortunately means that there's going to be a little bit of damage that finds its way in. There's not a world where we can block this 7 damage, unfortunately. Yeah, no blocks. We got to get rid of that Adaptive, and then we got to start thinking defense here for a second. What would this do? Draw a card and then discard a card. Create the blue ninja that can get through. That's about it. Unfortunately, those aren't good. Creating the copy, to me, feels like that might be the right answer. But I'd like to ninjutsu the moon snare and get the adaptive out of there too. Yeah, we can still attack with the biting snare if I toss this in there too. So let's do that. We're going to use you two as chump blockers, and we're going to bounce out adaptive, right? That just gives us a lot less to deal with. I have 3 mana. Yeah, okay. Part of me thinks that we could let the 6 go by, too. That would stop the 3. Nope. Why don't we just chump 1? Whew. Close stuff. Okay. I can only do this with the network disruptor up here at the top. So what would be the best network disruptor? This one right here, huh? Yeah. Yeah, because then we could ninjutsu in, discard a card, which would probably just be another network disruptor. This one creates a copy that stays. So we could attack with 2. Ninjutsu 1. Okay, yeah, okay. So we attack with 2. Right? We're going to ninjutsu out the disruptor. But we can only do 1, and I think we need to get rid of one of their threats. So we got to do this, right? Submit. And we'll click. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we can do something. Discard a card is fine by me. Submit 1. Get rid of one of you guys. Chump one of those. And what do you think? Maybe one of these? What if I just get rid of it? Yeah, it just is threatening. I think we keep it so that we can get the ninjutsu on. Right? Okay. I can tap one of their guys. If I attack in here, it's 5, 6, 7. So I'm at exactly lethal unless I can swap out my 1 for 2. That's fine. I think I messed up. I don't think I win this one. What are you going to bring in? Ah, yeah. Ninjas! We should have cast a few cards that one. Yeah. We got half of it done. 6:34. We're going to take a pause on our daily and just go right to our jump-in since we're running low on time. I got a little bit late this afternoon. I apologize. Early evening, early morning, yeah, you get it. Events, jump in. We're good. We picked up some soldiers. That's why we wanted to try the soldier stuff specifically. I think this Zephyr Sentinel seemed kind of interesting. I wanted to check it out with the Yoshian frontliners or the recruitment officers. We should put on the military. Okay. Neither here nor there. We're going back to jump in. We're resigning since we've already got our win. We're spending 1,000 gold and we're going back in. Modified. I haven't seen a modified. That's new. Inchblade Companion with some really cool new art on this thing, which is kind of cool. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. It's a 1 white, 2 to equip. Whenever it becomes attached to a creature, create a token that's a copy of the Inchblade Companion, except it doesn't have the ability to continue to do that. This ability can only trigger once per turn, so it leaves behind a copy of itself. If you say so. I don't know. But there's also the Sanctuary Warden, which is a 6-mana soldier that's a 5/5 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, it has 2 shield counters on it. You can you may remove a counter from a creature or planeswalker you control, and if you do, you get to draw a card, create 1 green-white citizen token. So, okay. I mean, people play Sanctuary Warden against me all the time. It's pretty good. Virulent is one of these toxic enabling venerated rot priests or Glissa Sunslayers. I believe we've got 3 rot priests, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we have 3, and there's nothing wrong with having 4. A lot of decks really want 4 of that card. So, kind of leaning into finishing that up, and if they gave us a Glissa instead, I would not be sad whatsoever. Spooky is just a Mirror Hall mimic, so the question is just, do we want to do a kind of a strange piece of equipment that doesn't get played that much? Mirror Hall, like, which we already have 3 or 4 copies of, and we don't find ourselves using hardly at all, because for 4 mana, you're a lot of times copying something that's 4 or less anyway, so it doesn't help. And then Blanche Bride Stalker kind of goes into the whole green toxic theme. But if we can get our 4th venerated Rot Priest, we can really round out some of those Rot Priest decks and give it just that much more chance. Horde is the Facebreaker, if I recall, and that's a card we kind of want. No, the Grim Hireling. When one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you get to create 2 treasure tokens. Oh. You can sacrifice them, and a target creature gets -X until the end of the turn. I don't know what -X is. It's kind of strange all the way across the board. Straight black treasure world. The monster manual we have a copy of already, and then Lucamina is a 2 mana or a 3 mana 2/2 that can specialize and give her for 3 more mana like quite a bit of opportunity to do other stuff. She also has activate only if you control 6 or more lands. When she enters the battlefield, if you cast it, seek a land card with a basic land type. So she replaces herself with a land card. Finally, we have wandering, and wandering I believe is the domain. Yeah, the domain mechanic with a herd migration or the silverback elder. Um, I've always been I've always been into the big green creatures, but I don't know of too many that are in this side of there that do well. On the flip side, domain also has big green creatures, and we get an opportunity, not a big one, but an opportunity to get a silverback elder. So herd migration's kind of a card. I don't think we're going to use it that much. I almost think we should go with the horde. None of these are great, and domain is just kind of um, a dead type for me. So, eh. Let's swing for the fences, okay? We're gonna go for the mythic card in the wandering pack in hopes that that's what we pick up. We got the Glissa. Ooh, like you. I don't think I see what I was looking for. Yeah, we got herd migration, unfortunately. I'll take the Glissa though. We swung for the fences here and we nailed it. So let's play it real quick. It looks like they're giving us some Proliferate, some Necrogen Rot Priest, which is excellent, Plague Nurse, which will help us a lot too. Vraska's Fall helps enable some of the early stuff, Stingray, I mean, there is just a lot of really good. Infectious Bite, Branch Blight Stalker, Bite Downs, all of this stuff helps get Toxic going. So we've got a bit of a Toxic main theme running through here with a little bit of a minor rampy to some of the herd migration. And then they gave us copies of all these crazy land cards. They're the slow ones, but they say swamp and forest. See how this one says basic land forest? This one says land, swamp, forest. So this one you get credit for 2 different land types, and the way domain works is for every land type that you have, up to 5, it can affect the card and make it that much more powerful. So playing one of these and playing one of one of these, mountain forest, island forest, you could easily get up to 4 or 5 very, very quickly. This one's the forest plains. So we're definitely going to try to expand out our domain in order to make some of these cards like the Sunbathing Root Walla or the Slimefoot Survey. Like, we're going to help make those things good. Search your library for up to 2 land cards that have a basic land type and put them on the battlefield. Look at the top X cards, where X is the number of basic land types. Put one of them on the top of your library and the rest in different order. So, okay. I don't think any of our games are going to get that far down the road into domain, but it's an idea. What's going on here? We're all right. Okay, Root Walla is cute, but it doesn't really do much. It's kind of better in the late game. Pestilent Cipher would be a good Toxic enabler in the early side, and we can play this slow land since we don't have anything at 1 mana to cast. Rise of the Ants. They say so. Well, I don't know. Do we bank on the idea that he doesn't know how to use his Dukai Silencer? Since he threw the Silencer out first and the Infiltrator out second, I don't think we block. Yeah, see? I knew it. I knew it. Okay, is there anything at 3 mana that we can do? Yeah. Well, yeah, we can set up a block for that guy. Next turn up. Unfortunately, we can't tack past this, so we say no. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, and then shuffle. If the spell was kicked, create 2 white soldiers. It's not going to be kicked. On the emblem, you can see that there's like 2 colored in and 3 that aren't. That means that we have currently 2 different land types among the lands that we've got. Using ninjas takes a little bit of a mind warp, and I just don't see a lot of... He doesn't have another ninja in hand, because there was no priority hold for the ninja. So I don't have to worry about ninjutsu effects. That's solid. We'll double attack in now. He replaces himself with a might, is what happens there. Yeah, why wouldn't they do that? That's so weird. I don't get it. Okay, I think we'll just throw the tap land out, and we will all attack. Put some pressure on him. He'll probably trade out the silencer for the Hive Master, which is fine. We're just... Well, there we go. Just trying to get those things on the board. We'll go here. We're not desperate for land at this moment. That will still allow us to trade out with the Nashi Moon Sage should it choose to attack, or the Dukai Silencer, both of which I think were solid. Wow. Wow. Didn't expect choking miasma. Not gonna lie. What? Did you just take a card? How dare you? Nimrazor Paladin does accomplish what we need it to accomplish. I think that we're going to go with that. When it enters the battlefield, you get to return a creature card with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard. We should have a Stinging Hive Master, I think. But we could do the Flyer. What do you think? Let's go with the Flyer. No more Nashi. She takes a card. Whenever it deals combat damage to the player, you exile the top card of your library until the end of the turn. You can play one of those cards. If you cast a spell this way, you pay life instead of paying mana. Interesting. Well, I'm glad I didn't play the Flyer. Yeah, oh yeah, we're trading that. Yeah. Okay, herd migration is only 3, unfortunately, different kinds of land types. So that's not going to work. The briefcase gives us a 1/1 that we can use as a chump block, and then we can crack back on the attack, and then the Pestilent Slifer gives us another thing to go with. So I think we're going to go double spell this way or double spell this way. The question is just which way do you want to go? We don't have the kicker for that, so let's just go with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more land card. And unfortunately, we'd like it to be a slow land, too, which is just kind of meh. Good on you. Yep. That's what you're here to do. Yep. That didn't pay off. I shouldn't have done that. Whew. I feel better already. Should I go with the kicker or not? I would say no on the kicker. Oh. Search out basically put it on the battlefield, tap to just pass on that. There's no reason to jump into that. This thing says you can discard it, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle and gain 3. We don't need that either. I'm going to wait. We don't have like endless amounts of bodies to throw into something like this. We will soon, but I'd rather keep the toxic pressure alive. Okay. No. We know how that works. Pass. Okay, so on the next one, we throw the herd migration out. I say that, but I think I can add 1 mana of any color to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I can do this. It's 7. No, I can't do it. I can do this, and I can't kick it. I can do this as 6 and lose my briefcase, but I'd like to keep it for that. So we'll just click next, and we're going to attack like that. Come on, be silly. Block it. Any of these guys have permanents? I guess we'll do this too. We are the Death Touchers. To touch us is death. You can see how slow and dirtily this card is. It's driving me crazy. Yeah. All right. I think it's finally time. Spawn of Jig. You're out of cards. So attack in with your 4. I will kill 3 of those 4 and let 5 damage go through. And lose 2, which would give me 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on the crackback. Not enough, unfortunately. What do? You do exactly what I need you to do, huh? I think I would like to remove the Green Widow. I like what the board looks like better if I do it like these two. These are just more bodies, unfortunately. This is good as a later kind of thing, but I think I'd like to get rid of... What would I like to get rid of? I think we just get rid of that. I think it's the problem, right, for our air guy that we don't have. This is going to also take care of the air guy, but he's a really good blocker. And I feel like we have to take care of that flyer, unfortunately. And then I think we can just still attack in with those two. That's fine. Since we don't have the other clock on us. I do believe it's time for us to attack in. Yep, he saw it too. I mean, when I make the swing attack all the way in, I end up negating so much of them. I can leave behind like the sentry, and the net result is he's going to lose his board, and at that point, it's just one turn away. So, cool. I'll take it. Didn't come easy. Domain decks usually don't, but that's okay. We got our prize, and then we're going to end it right there because 'tis time. Oh, nice. A Balmor. That's good. Balmor is a really neat